When Tyson needs to go out at night, I'm not going any further than that leaf over there.
That little leaf right there.
Right,
okay.
Under the safety of the light, because I assume that if a crocodile sneaks up right here,
by the leaf,
that I'll see it.
by the leaf.
Yeah.
So as long as the alligator / crocodile stays somewhere in the darkness, he can exist?
He can exist. I'll make a deal. If you stay in the dark, I'll stay over here in front of that leaf.
What happens if you wake up and there's an alligator on your vehicle? Like what if it goes past the leaf and is like lounging because it feels good?
Then I'm gonna wake you up and be like, time to go.
Welcome to Louisiana. Wow.
It's in my pocket.
There's so many sketchy things happening.
It's going on.
Raining.
I can't.
There's skaters. Goodbye, friend. What the heck? What is that? Oh, what a night. I just woke up and went inside of this Flying J, and well, let's talk about it. So in my lifetime, I've stayed at a lot of truck stops, and a lot of people are afraid of truck stops, and I can understand because growing up, I remember just hearing really creepy things about truck stops. However, at the same time, I think that most of the things that I was taught were actually kind of wrong. And whenever I started doing van life, I started noticing that lots of people were staying at truck stops, and I was going, okay, is that safe? Riley.
Yes.
You survived?
I survived.
No gators?
No gators.
We survived even though the cops were in the parking lot?
Yeah, there were, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was only there for like a little bit because when I looked, they were gone immediately, so.
I think they just pulled somebody over in the parking lot.
Probably.
I get it. It's a well-lit area. Have you ever felt scared staying at a truck stop?
Kind of, but it honestly depends on the truck stop. For like, I would say 99% of the time, it's pretty safe, so.
What is your ick for the truck stops? Have there been one thing that like deterred you, or how do you get a vibe? What's up with that?
I can remember distinctly one time, like, I don't know, I think somebody like left their car overnight and it just kept like, somebody set off the horn or whatever, and it just kept beeping and honking all night long. Drove me nuts.
Any different than staying at a Walmart though?
Not really. I feel safer at a truck stop than I do at a Walmart, if I'm being completely honest.
Why is that?
Because like, there's lights on everywhere, there's security cameras everywhere, there's a reliable bathroom open. It's like open 24/7. Or if you really need, I don't know, like a drink or something, you can go inside. Whereas Walmart's, obviously it's not 24 hours. And I know that Walmart's, like, admittedly it depends on the location, but like I feel like lots of people, like especially like teenagers, love to go to Walmart's at night and just, I don't know, hang out and sometimes drive.
Ooh, we're right here in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get all set up, and I'm gonna talk about our sketchy stays. So now that we're back in the van, I guess this is a good time to talk about truck stops. I have been asked by so many people,
don't you feel afraid when you stay at a truck stop?
and usually the answer is no, because I don't stay a place that I feel uncomfortable. I trust my gut, and if I do feel uncomfortable, I leave. Point blank, period. It's kind of like Riley said. There's every so often going to be like that one off moment where you are in a place and something strange happens after you've already settled in. And when you're in the comfort of your van, you have the choice to be like, okay, I'm going to stay or I'm going to go. And if I notice anything crazy around me before I settle into that in my personal space bubble, I just get on out of there. Now, one of the things that I have noticed over time is that there are a lot of different kinds of truck stops and not all of them are created equally. Let me explain. Some truck stops are better than others. We'll just say that. Some you get the skeezy vibe from. You truly do. When you pull in, they're like a one-off mom and pop truck stop in the middle of nowhere. They have a field beside them. They're kind of grimy and they aren't good. However, The vast majority of truck stops that I personally stop at are not that. I stop at large chain truck stops like Fly & J or Pilot or Love's, or even a TA every so often. Now, each one of them has different rules, and also some of them do not allow regular vehicles to stay overnight. And so you have to kind of be able to feel out the situation and know if you are going to be able to stay there. Some are big, some are small. Some have loud noises, some are pretty quiet. It's kind of strange to think about truck stops in a way of like an overnight stay versus just a gas stop. But once you start to kind of look for the things, you'll start to notice really quickly that it's just regular people here that are maintaining the front counter, the security, and then also the people who are coming in. Most of them are not here for nefarious reasons. They're here because they need it overnight because they have to get off the road. So, with that said, was this actually a sketchy stop? The short answer to that is no. No, it was not. It was kind of leaning towards some challenges, yes. Whenever we pulled in, of course, there were the gator signs. And there definitely is a ravine, and that ravine definitely probably has some creepy crawlers in it. And that part, little sketchy. Sure, little sketchy. But that's not too bad, as long as you know your limitations. The good news is, like you could see in the video, it's well lit. The entirety of the parking lot, all of the vastness, super well lit, which is way better than a lot of places that we've stayed at that are in the middle of like nowhere. When we pulled into the furthest corner from the store, and you can see here there's this nice little area, but other people are parked here too. It's not just us. There's tons of people who park their cars at truck stops and either stay in them or maybe just use the parking lot to get picked up for work or to go somewhere else. And the nice thing about this is the parking lots are patrolled. Let's talk about the cop. I don't think the cop was doing anything crazy. I really don't. I think the cop just was pulling somebody over, and this was a safe place for them to pull in so that they could feel safe being pulled over, but also he could feel safe in the light, because this is a pretty dark area otherwise. There is a truck stop across the street, but all of these little side roads, they don't really have lights. So again, even though there was a cop here, I don't think it wasn't safe. Now, one thing I will say is there's no coverage. So if you are out here at a truck stop and it starts raining like it did last night, it's just gonna be really loud with the rain, but also with the trucks. Truck stops are traditionally pretty loud because these guys going down the road, well, they're not quiet. If you're a light sleeper, a truck stop's probably not for you. If you're a more heavy sleeper, you might be okay. If you're a paranoid person, a truck stop's probably not for you either. Just because there's so many moving parts to it, and you never know, how many sounds are going to be happening at any given time. At the same time, there's something kind of interesting about a truck stop that after you get used to staying at them, it's just kind of like the lull of the hum, and it's kind of like white noise. Now let's talk about why a truck stop can be beneficial to you if you are a motorist staying on the road. After all of the scariness, after all the parking lot, after all of the sounds, what does a truck stop actually have to offer? Well, you can find, like Riley said, bathrooms that are open 24 hours a day. They have showers. They have usually some kind of like restaurant inside. They have souvenirs. They have snacks. Of course, they have gas. They have a lot of different things that you might not think about. They even have laundry. So this is a good one-stop shop for the average person in a van. I've showered at so many truck stops and they're really clean. They make sure that they take care of the place because they do have so many people coming in and out. But again, that is going to depend on what kind of truck stop that you stop at. For example, if you stop off at a truck stop that's one of those little sketchy ones, it might not be the cleanest. So always kind of look for the well-lit major lines of truck stops, the Fly & J's, the Pilots, the Loves, and the TAs. Those are always going to give you a decent experience. And as long as you pull into the parking lot and you get a good vibe, you're gonna be okay. Just trust your gut always. This morning, for example, we have a hot breakfast thanks to the breakfast bar that they have. So we have these nice little croissant sandwiches. I was also able to pick up a drink. Another thing I really like about truck stops is they do have some items that you can replace things for your van. For example, I use a Road Pro. If I ever need additional parts for my Road Pro or to replace anything from my Road Pro, I can get it at a truck stop. They also have inverters that are designed for a bigger load because they're designed for truckers, realistically. So if you're looking for an inverter that's going to be able to handle a larger capacity and also be a bit more durable, the truck stop is the best place to get it. Now, I do realize sometimes that comes at a price, and a lot of people would probably go, no, I would just order it off Amazon. I've ordered a few inverters off of Amazon before and also had a few from truck stops. The ones from truck stops last longer and I can charge more things at the same time. I'm just saying. So there's lots of benefits to staying at what otherwise might be considered a sketchy truck stop, but these are some of the major ones. I really love waking up in the morning and just kind of moving around, having a place to dump my trash, going inside, using the restroom, washing my face to really wake me up, and then getting going. And I think that that's just the best thing. Not to mention, a lot of people have a problem with truckers in general. So let's talk about that. In my time on the road, I have met a lot of interesting people, including campers, including travelers who are just passing through, people who are tourists going from hotel to hotel to go see beautiful things. And yes, I have met my fair share of truckers. And guess what, guys? They're regular people. Just like any other person out there, if you get a good vibe from someone or a bad vibe from someone, I recommend that you act accordingly. But let me tell you, in my time of getting to know the truckers at truck stops while waiting for showers or just chatting in the parking lot, I've never felt uncomfortable. They're just regular people. Maybe it's just me because I've had people that I've known who have been truckers, so I was not as alarmed as some have been. But usually, if there is a person that you're encountering in any given situation, you should just, again, trust your gut. Riley. Whenever you go to a truck stop, do you feel like you have plenty of room?
Like in my car or here?
Like in general, just do you think you have enough room to move around, to stretch?
Yeah, absolutely.
To walk Tyson?
Yeah, for sure. Because a lot of truck stops also have like a dog area. I know Love's truck stops is one. There's a lot of grass. Although watch out for the alligators. But
do. So yeah, that's another thing. Having a pet, you have more space to walk around. And I really wanted to highlight that because I personally don't travel with a pet, but Riley does. And places like Walmart only have limited spaces for you to walk usually. But look at this, a vast area right here. And then again, some of them have those little dog areas. Fact of the matter is, a truck stop is a wayward point for a lot of people. And so they have people coming and going nonstop, from the everyday person just getting gas to the big rigs that we're seeing over here and everything in between. And so because of that, they are prepared for you in a lot of scenarios that like your standard Walmart would not be. They just are. So it's really nice to come to a truck stop. And even though, again, I know a lot of people think that a truck stop is a sketchy place, I do not get that vibe at 99.9% of the truck stops I've ever gone to. Again, there's the sketchy one-offs, and that's a different story, but places like this, the big ones, the big flying J's of the world, no. So remember that, guys. If you're hitting the road, truck stops are a good option for you, whether it's a one-night stay or just a need for some supplies or some gas. Give it a shot. You won't regret it. And remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Was my night at a sketchy truck stop really also sketchy? No, it was not. And I wanted to show you that just so you'd understand that. Don't be afraid. Get out there and explore. Trust your gut, and we'll talk later. Till next time, guys. Bye!